Shalom on this first day of the week. The first day of the week is Sunday. Shalom. Today's lesson is going to be called Questions and Answers. This is questions and answers regarding the Bible. The reference source is the Bible and the apocryphal books that was omitted in the later versions of the Bible. Questions and answers. In 1 Thessalonians 5:21, it says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Okay? The first question I have is, name at least 2 scriptures that prove who are the Lord's servants. My first scripture, I'm going to go to Isaiah 44:1. Isaiah 44:1. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. Yet now, hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. The second scripture is also coming from Isaiah, the book of Isaiah 45:4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my elect, have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Also, another precept would be Isaiah chapter 44, verse 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee. Thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou shalt not be forgotten of me. Question number 2. Name 2 scriptures to prove what wisdom is. What wisdom is. What is wisdom? We're going to start at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 through 6. Deuteronomy. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Next, I'm going to go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 20. Daniel chapter 2, verse 20. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Exodus 33, Exodus 35 and 31. Salaki. Exodus 35 and 31. Exodus chapter 35, starting at verse 31. And he had filled him with the Spirit of God, and wisdom, and understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship. This book is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, which is in the Apocryphal books. It's going to be chapter 1, verse 26 to 27. Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach. Ecclesiastes, or Sirach, in the Apocryphal books, chapter 1, starting at verse 26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom, and instruction, and faith, and meekness are his delight. Now I'm going to go to Sirach, chapter 19 and 18 through 20. Or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocryphal book. Ecclesiastes, or Sirach, chapter 19, starting at verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaining his love. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Question number 3. What scriptures proves in the law the judgment of a man hurting a woman with child and cause the unborn child to die, and what happens to the man if mischief follows? Okay, we're going to go to Exodus chapter 21, verse 22. Exodus chapter 21, verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. Again, in Exodus chapter 21, verse 22, if men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay the judges. He shall pay as the judges determine. Now we're going to go to Matthew 5 and 38, New Testament. Correction, Salaki. That's Matthew 5 and 38. Matthew chapter 5, verse 38. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. That's the eye for an eye scripture, referring to like in Exodus chapter 21 and 23, when it said eye for an eye. Chapter 4. What scriptures proves in the law the judgment for presumptuously slaying your neighbor? Let's look at Exodus chapter 21, verse 14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from my altar, that he may die. Question number 5. What scriptures prove that God made the first blood covenant with Israel? We're going to go to Exodus chapter 24, verses 1 to 11. Exodus chapter 24, starting at verse 1. And he said unto Moses, come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh. neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, all the words which the Lord hath said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar unto the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. Question number 6. What scripture in the law proved to the Israelites not to eat blood? I'll start at Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 12. Leviticus chapter 17 verse 12. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. Okay, the next scripture I'm going to head to is Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 23. Deuteronomy 12 and 23. Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 23. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 7 verse 24. Leviticus. And the fat of the beast, this is Leviticus chapter 7, verse 24. Leviticus 7 and 24. And the fat of the beast that dieth of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beasts, may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. This right here is just a quick lesson on questions and answers, of some questions and answers, and some precepts to some questions and answers coming from the Bible. Shalom.